Amina adjusted her hijab in the mirror, her fingers trembling slightly. The morning had been chaotic. Zaid had spilled juice on his school uniform, and now her car wouldn't start. She sighed deeply, stepping outside to face the chilly morning air. Need some help? A voice called from across the driveway. Amina turned to see Daniel, her neighbor, walking toward her. He wore a worn-out hoodie and had a grease-stained rag in hand. His easy smile made her feel both grateful and uneasy. I think it's the battery, she said, glancing at her car. Mind if I take a look? Daniel asked, his tone warm but respectful. She hesitated for a moment before nodding. Daniel lifted the hood, checking the connections with quiet focus. Zaid peeked out from the front door, curiosity lighting up his face. Looks like a loose cable, Daniel said. I can fix it if you'd like. Please, Amina replied softly. That would be really kind of you. Within minutes, Daniel had her car purring again. Amina offered a small but genuine smile. Thank you, she said, shifting uncomfortably. I'm not very good with this stuff. No worries, Daniel chuckled. Glad I could help. As Amina reached for her purse, Daniel raised a hand. Don't worry about it. Just happy to help. That evening, as Amina stood by the kitchen sink washing dishes, she found her thoughts drifting back to him. He seemed kind, thoughtful even. But she reminded herself to stay guarded. Life had taught her that trusting too easily could lead to heartbreak. Days passed, and their paths continued to cross. Each time, Daniel greeted her with a friendly smile, never overstepping. One afternoon, as Amina sipped tea on her porch, she heard laughter from the sidewalk. Zaid's bike chain had jammed, and there was Daniel, kneeling beside him, showing him how to fix it. Push here, Daniel instructed, his voice gentle. Now give it a spin. The wheel spun smoothly, and Zaid beamed. Thanks, Mr. Daniel. Amina couldn't help but smile. That was very sweet of you, she said when Daniel glanced her way. Zaid's a smart kid, Daniel replied. Did most of the work himself. Amina thanked him again, but something about Daniel lingered with her, his kindness, his patience. It unsettled her in ways she couldn't quite explain. Weeks later, during a chilly evening, Amina found herself overwhelmed. Bills, responsibilities, and the constant pressure to balance motherhood with her own emotions weighed heavily on her. During a neighborhood gathering, the noise and crowd became too much. Her breathing quickened, her chest tightening. Amina, Daniel's voice cut through the noise. He guided her away from the crowd, standing quietly beside her. Breathe, he said softly. In and out, slowly. Amina closed her eyes and followed his voice. Her breathing steadied, and when she opened her eyes, Daniel's face held nothing but concern, no judgment, no pity. Thank you, she whispered, her voice barely audible. Anytime, Daniel replied, his smile calm, comforting. That night, as Amina tucked Zaid into bed, her mind wandered back to Daniel's voice, steady, reassuring, and kind. She couldn't deny the warmth that lingered inside her. Days turned into weeks, and Daniel's presence became a quiet comfort. He never pushed, never lingered too long, yet somehow, he was always there when needed. Whether it was shoveling snow from her driveway or offering a warm smile during school runs, his kindness never felt forced. One Saturday afternoon, Amina heard laughter from outside. She peeked through the window to find Daniel showing Zaid how to throw a baseball. Zaid's face glowed with excitement as Daniel patiently guided him. You're really good at this, Amina said when Daniel returned the ball to Zaid. I played a little in college, he replied with a shrug. Zaid's a natural, Amina smiled, feeling grateful but unsure. Daniel was making a place in her son's heart, and that scared her. She knew how easily good things could slip away. The following weekend, Daniel dropped by with a box in hand. I saw this at a bookstore and thought Zaid might like it, he said, holding up a children's science kit. You didn't have to, Amina replied. I know, Daniel said simply. I just thought he'd enjoy it. Later that evening, as Amina watched Zaid excitedly build circuits from the kit, she couldn't ignore the warmth growing inside her. Daniel's kindness wasn't just directed at her, he genuinely cared for Zaid too. Yet doubt kept creeping in. Amina had built walls around her heart for a reason. Her divorce had left scars, reminders that love could unravel no matter how deeply you believed in it. One evening, after a long day at work, Amina returned home to find Daniel sitting on his porch, sipping coffee. She paused for a moment before walking over. Rough day, Daniel asked. Yeah, She sighed. Bills, deadlines, everything. I get it, Daniel said. I've had my fair share of those. They sat in comfortable silence for a while, the air cool but oddly soothing. Can I ask you something? Amina finally spoke. Of course. Why are you always so patient? Daniel smiled faintly. I guess I know what it's like to feel alone. After my mom passed, well, it felt like no one really saw me anymore. So I try to show up when I can. His words struck something deep within her. Amina knew that feeling too, that quiet ache of carrying everything alone. A week later, during a late grocery run, Amina spotted Daniel in the same aisle. They exchanged a warm greeting before Daniel noticed her cart, a mix of hurried choices that barely resembled a proper meal. You okay? He asked gently. Amina forced a smile. Just tired. Without a word, Daniel walked over, swapping out her instant noodles for fresh vegetables and easy-to-cook meals. This stuff's faster and better, he said, grinning. Trust me. For some reason, that simple gesture hit her harder than expected. He wasn't trying to impress her, he just wanted to make things easier. That night, as she cooked the meal Daniel had suggested, the house felt warmer, calmer. Like maybe, just maybe, she wasn't carrying everything alone anymore. Amina couldn't ignore her feelings anymore. Daniel's kindness, his patience, it had stirred something she hadn't felt in years. Yet, with those feelings came fear. She knew what people would say, a Muslim mother falling for a Christian man. It wasn't just complicated, it felt impossible. She started to create distance. When Daniel waved from across the street, she only smiled faintly before turning away. When Zaid asked if Mr. Daniel could visit again, she changed the subject. One evening, Daniel knocked on her door. Is everything okay? He asked softly. I've just been busy, she said quickly. Daniel paused, studying her face. Did I do something wrong? No, Amina insisted, but her voice faltered. I need some space. I get it, Daniel said, though his expression betrayed his disappointment. But if you ever need anything, you know where I am. Weeks passed, and Amina convinced herself she was doing the right thing. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't shake the memories, Daniel fixing Zaid's bike, helping her breathe during that overwhelming evening, quietly swapping groceries to make her life easier. And deep down, she knew. She missed him. She missed what they could be. And maybe, it was time to stop running from it.